Getting bullied sucks, but being the bully, now that's awesome. Bully, released in 2006 by Rockstar Games and developed by Rockstar Vancouver, is an action-adventure game where you play as Jimmy Hopkins, a troubled teen who was sent to Bullworth Academy by his loving mother and forgettable stepfather. Your objective is to navigate through the social hierarchy created by the students at Bullworth and rise through the ranks in order to stop bullying. Now, if you've ever played Grand Theft Auto, then you know exactly what you're getting yourself into. This is Grand Theft Auto Teenager Edition. The game was initially released as Canis Canem Edit, which is Latin for dog eat dog. They eventually changed it to Bully because that just sounds like a much more fun game. The PlayStation 2 was the first version to be released. That's the version that I played as a kid. A remastered version titled Bully the Scholarship Edition eventually came out for the Xbox 360 and Wii, and that version rocks. Unfortunately, I didn't grow up with either of those consoles, so I never got the chance to play the Scholarship Edition until only recently. The Scholarship Edition featured more classes that you can attend, bonus missions, additional characters, more unlockable clothing and items, and overall better graphics. In 2016, Bully the Anniversary Edition was made available on iOS and Android. This was a game changer because for the first time, I got to experience the Scholarship Edition's amazing features, and Bully on mobile just felt surreal. I've always dreamt about the days when I would be able to play console games like this on the go, and they finally made it happen. The Anniversary Edition is the same as the Scholarship Edition but for mobile devices. The graphics are arguably better, but I think that's subjective. The Scholarship Edition for the Xbox 360, in my opinion, has the best graphics. This video will primarily feature gameplay from the Scholarship Edition, so be sure to grab an apple and let's get right into it.
It's Appleseed!
The setting of the game takes place in a fictional town called Bullworth, which is said to be located in New England. The school has this sort of neo-Gothic style to it, inspired by the colleges in New England. Inside the school, you have the main building, which is where most of the classes you'll be attending are located. There's a gym with a football field, and dorms which houses the students. The town is broken up into 4 main districts: Bullworth Town, which is basically the downtown hub, Old Bullworth Vale, a suburban beach town that has mansions, a park, and a carnival, New Coventry, which is more run down with an urban aesthetic, and Blue Skies Industrial Park, which consists mostly of trailer parks and industrial buildings. There's also an insane asylum nearby. The map is decently sized, and one of the things that this game does a really good job of as you progress through the story is that you'll find shortcuts that open up which takes you from area to area. Bully is broken up into 6 chapters, with each chapter centered around dramas involving different cliques. Aside from the main story, Bullworth is filled with activities and side missions to complete, making the world really come to life. Our story begins here. Jimmy Hopkins is dropped off at Bullworth Academy, where he befriends Gary Smith and Pete Kowalski.
Well, welcome to Bullworth. It's a dump.
Great. I've been expelled from anywhere halfway decent.
Yeah, I've been expelled from anywhere halfway decent because I'm really bad.
He is introduced to the school's various cliques: the bullies,
Too cool to be a dork, and I'm too dorky to be anything else.
nerds,
They look pretty harmless.
They're actually sneaky bastards.
preppies,
Massively inbred and completely brainless.
greasers,
They think they're tough.
and jocks.
Whatever, I'm not afraid of some dumb roid monkeys.
The story focuses mainly on Jimmy's relationships with the cliques, and as Gary would put it,
My plan for us to take over the school.
What plan?
Don't worry, Jimmy.
however, things aren't as they seem when we are betrayed by Gary.
You want to run this school? I want to run this school. Only one of us is going to make it. And it's going to be me.
Resulting in a fight with the bullies' leader, Russell.
Come here! Russell wants vengeance!
Act 1 is basically the tutorial where we familiarize ourselves with the social atmosphere of Bullworth Academy and acclimate to the daily life as a student. One of the exciting aspects of Bully is getting to experience Halloween, where we pull pranks on students, and at the end of the night we pull off a big prank.
Okay, get ready! What the devil is going on out here? Oh, God damn it!
After beating up Russell, we finally gain the respect of the bullies and can now access Bullworth Town. This marks a major turning point in the story because it becomes clear who our main antagonist is. It is also at this point that we begin working closely with Pete in order to restore peace to Bullworth. In Act 2, Jimmy turns his attention to the Preppies, who we soon find out is being manipulated by Gary.
Is it true you said I was inbred? No, because first cousins is legal, my friend. Legal.
You said Tad was probably a hermaphrodite with that much inbreeding.
A hermaphro what?
Jimmy enters a boxing tournament at the boxing gym in Bullworth Vale, which is hosted by the Preppies leader Derby Harrington. And upon winning, we are awarded with a beachfront house. Pretty sweet reward if you ask me. There's also a bunch of side missions to carry out involving some of the teachers at Bullworth, like helping Edna the cook with some pickups,
Meat from Yum Yum Market. Oh, and a razor from the barber's for my stash. And oh yeah, some new knickers from Worn In. I've had these on since last term.
resolving a feud between our English teacher Mr. Galloway and Mr. Hattrick.
You're drunk. I can smell it on your breath. I can see it in your eyes.
I'm not drunk.
Drunk? In charge of children? What kind of monster drinks in front of children?
And even breaking into school to help Beatrice retrieve her diary. Still not having gained the respect of the Preppies after completing various missions throughout Bullworth Vale, which involves a lot of egging.
Look at this. A bunch of guys whose career aspirations are to work in stores.
Fabulous.
We finally beat up Derby and assert our dominance over the Preppies.
Who's the boss now? I can't hear you, rich kids. Who's the boss now, my waspy little friend? Answer the question.
You are.
Louder!
You are.
Good! That's right, me!
We also steal his cousin girlfriend Pinky, which is a reoccurring theme throughout the story, where Jimmy gains a new love interest that just so happens to be dating the clique leaders. No wonder no one likes us. In Act 3, we focus our attention on the greasers, or as Jimmy would say,
What's this throwback want?
we agreed to help Johnny, the leader of the greasers, expose a love affair between his girlfriend Lola and a preppy named Gord.
Oh man, I knew this was coming.
What are you talking about?
She's with that rich kid Gord, I know she is.
How do you know?
Turns out, Lola's been having a bit of fun around town, and this drives Johnny mad.
Ridiculous. Women. Look at you both. You're pathetic.
But I thought she liked me.
I don't believe this.
This causes a war to break out between the greasers and preppies. Act 3 also allows us to venture into New Coventry, where we unlock a skate park by helping Johnny take down the preppies.
Well, hello, Gord. Seems like you've been messing where you ought not.
No, cousins are legal. Oh, you mean Lola?
There is this abandoned apartment building where we help Lola retrieve her belongings since she's been outcasted by her clique. Of course, this enrages Johnny, resulting in a battle at the scrapyard where Jimmy defeats him not for Lola's love, but for respect. This puts an end to the conflict between greasers and preppies.
This has nothing to do with her, man. I don't care. You can keep that slut for yourself.
Act 3 also happens during Christmas time, and so naturally, the Christmas spirit is in the air. We get the opportunity to help Santa, who happens to be a hobo living behind an alley in Bullworth Town. We help Santa vandalize the Christmas tree at the town hall and even set up a photo session with the lucky kids of Bullworth. Act 4 brings the drama back to school, where we team up with our favorite squad, the Nerds, to bring down the jocks who supposedly run the school. Apparently, not even the nerds like us.
Us help you? Yeah, think of everything I've done for you since I got here.
You? You're like a bouncer. We're a bit above helping people like you. I mean, get real, duh. Pea stain.
So in order to gain their respect, we beat up Ernest, the king of the nerds. The nerds might be weak, but they make up for their lack of strength in the powerful weapons they carry and don't hesitate to use. We infiltrate their base, the Astronomy Club, and are awarded the Spud Gun, kind of the endgame of weapons.
You're just like everyone else, picking on the little man.
There's also this really cute mission where we have to save Bucky and Fatty from the jocks inside the funhouse at the carnival. Our first goal in taking down the jocks involves committing a crime, where we are tasked to leak pictures of the school's head cheerleader, Mandy.
I know, it's funny. I'm the girl in the dirty pictures, haha.
What are you talking about?
Don't pretend you don't know, everybody knows.
Knows what?
Of course, Jimmy feels bad for doing this, so we go around town covering up all the leaked photos. I guess Gary was kind of right, the nerds are
Sneaky bastards.
Eventually, the jocks are humiliated after Jimmy sabotages their big football game, leading to a showdown against their leader, Ted.
Oh, Jimmy, you did it! You did it! I'm king of the school! Oh, you beat them all in front of everybody!
We reach Act 5, finally uniting all of the cliques. Jimmy kind of becomes an egotistical maniac following his newfound glory and respect.
These morons are my morons
That's
now.
great. Just don't turn into a jerk. How could I? Hey, baby. How you doing? What you doing later? Oh, hey, girl, you're looking great.
Ooh.
Great. Thank you for that sugar, darling.
Is totally unaware that Gary, who is now the school's head boy, is plotting to overthrow him. Gary convinces the clique leaders to pressure Jimmy into vandalizing Bullworth's town hall, which makes all of the cliques lose their respect seemingly overnight. Jimmy is also expelled and outcasted to the Blue Skies Industrial Park, occupied by the townies.
You are blind, old man, blind!
And you are leaving. I tried to contact your mother, but she's still off on a cruise. Until I hear from her, I will have to let you stay here in your room. But you may not wear the school uniform or attend classes.
Gotta be kidding
You are
me.
leaving the academy to attend to your education elsewhere. Now get out!
The townies are a group of former Bullworth students who seek revenge against the school. Jimmy meets Zoe, a former student who was expelled after accusing Bullworth's gym teacher, Mr. Burton, who's a creep, of predatory behavior. Not surprised.
I was at Bullworth once. I got kicked out.
Why?
Let's just say Mr. Burton is a dirty creep.
Seriously?
We help Zoe exact revenge on Mr. Burton by almost unaliving the man.
Oh my God! Corn! I didn't have corn for dinner! Oh, this is awful! Oh, 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 yeah! God damn, I stink!
After gaining the trust of Zoe, she helps us storm the townies' hideout with Russell, where we confront their leader, Edgar. Jimmy tells Edgar that Gary is behind the manipulation and we earn the townies' respect.
Gary? That backstabbing, two-faced sociopath put you up to this? I bet he said the two of you would take over the school or some crap.
Hey, how'd you know?
Because he told me the same garbage.
Meanwhile, back at school, Gary goes full cycle and takes Mr. Crabblesnitch, the principal, hostage, causing a full-blown war to break out between the cliques. With the help of the townies and Russell, Jimmy fights his way back to school and makes his way to the main building, where we confront Gary at last.
Your attention, please. Jimmy is complete human trash.
Gary, you little bitch! Come out!
James, I've been waiting. Let the games begin.
We chase Gary all the way up to the rooftop where the epic final battle happens.
Me! I won!
You are sad, man.
I might be sad, but I run your world, moron, and don't you forget it!
We beat up Gary because, let's be real, we've fought greater opponents this school year. We both fall through the roof and enter Mr. Crabblesnitch's office where Gary is expelled. Mr. Burton is also fired and Pete becomes the new head boy. Zoe is allowed to return to Bullworth and everyone is happy. Jimmy makes his way outside the school where the students and teachers cheer him on. We kiss Zoe and the credits roll. What a great ending. Act 6, titled Endless Summer, is the post-game. Everything at this point is entirely up to you. As Jimmy Hopkins, your goal is to complete various missions that progress you throughout the 6 chapters of the game. These missions range from fighting to collecting various items and helping other students. Missions reward you with cash and new items and will either increase or decrease the respect of a certain clique.
Thanks, Jimmy. Here's the cash. I'll tell my mom that not everyone at Bullworth is mean.
The respect system is pretty straightforward. If a certain group has high levels of respect, they'll act friendly, and if they don't like you, they won't hesitate to pick on you and sometimes even attack you.
If only you'd been born into my social circle.
Well, I do have a few uses, you know.
The show's about to start, but come see me sometime. We can work through these class issues we have.
Oh, I'll work through your class issues all right, sweetie.
Some students can even be hired as bodyguards if they hold you in high regard. As a student, you'll also have to attend classes during your downtime when you're not completing missions.
We're here to learn, not to goof off. Get to class.
Each class has 5 courses, which increases in difficulty as you rank up. Completing classes will reward you with new abilities or new clothing items. For example, gym class unlocks new fighting moves, and chemistry class rewards you with the ability to create weapons that you can replenish using the chemistry station located in your dorm room.
Straight up awesome!
In the Scholarship Edition, Geography class will award you with map locations to hidden items like the rubber bands and GNG cards.
Mine now.
The combat in this game is simple but effective, with the option to throw hands or use weapons to hurt others. Weapons can include a slingshot, which you receive as a mission reward, firecrackers, stink bombs, itching powder, a bag of marbles, and even a gun. Okay, not an actual gun, but you get the idea. Including the weapons I just mentioned, various objects such as a baseball bat can be found around the world, which deals a ton of damage. By either attending gym class or by giving the hobo living behind the school bus a radio transistor, which can be found throughout Bullworth, unlocks you with new fighting moves. This will greatly improve Jimmy's ability to fight off bullies.
I told you to wash your face!
If violence isn't your call, you can verbally insult others, which usually results in a fight, and when your victim is low on health, you can humiliate them. You also have the option to greet others and offer an apology if you accidentally hurt their feelings.
How's it going? What's going on? You alright?
Hi, I mean you.
Giving girls and certain boys gifts will enable you to make out with them for bonus health. A pretty clever way to gain what is essentially armor in a game centered around teenagers, if you ask me.
I think I might just faint from excitement.
Note that these interactions don't result in any long-term changes to your social game or the respect of a clique, but still adds a ton of immersion to the in-game experience.
Hey you!
Get lost, you broke nobody.
Attending English class will reward you with enhancements to your social game and can help you get out of run-ins with the prefects and even the police.
Beg for mercy!
Aw, please!
Puke brain!
Following similar principles as Grand Theft Auto's Wanted system, breaking the rules in Bully can lead to serious consequences, which is indicated by the 3-level trouble meter. The first level, which is bright yellow, consists of small and petty rule breaks, like insulting a prefect or picking on other students, not following the dress code, skipping class. The second level, a darker shade of yellow, consists of weapon violence, violence of any kind, breaking and entering another student's locker. The final level, the maximum severity of troublemaking, which is indicated by the meter turning red, consists of violations like violence towards adults, authority figures, girls, and children. And a bunch of other things that I cannot speak of on YouTube, but I'm sure you can imagine what they are.
Maybe you could help, but you'll have to be discreet.
Prefects, police, and other authority figures will apprehend you if spotted. You are offered the chance to retaliate if caught. However, if you are in the final level of troublemaking, then you will be busted. If a prefect catches you, you'll be sent to the principal's office, which can lead to child labor. I mean punishment.
Time to pay back the faculty for all their kindness.
I don't think you know what kindness means.
However, if class is in session, you'll be sent directly to class, which can be an advantage. The police will send you to the nearest police station, and if you are caught causing trouble during school hours, then you'll be sent back to school. Note that this rule applies to everyone, so should any other student break the rules, they can get busted as well.
Another snot-nosed perp.
There are many ways you can get around Bullworth, including skateboarding, my favorite mode of transportation, riding a bike, scooter, and even a go-kart. You can grab the back of someone's car on the skateboard to move around. However, you cannot drive a car. There is also bus stops located around town which quickly transports you back to Bullworth Academy, in case you're late for class and don't want to miss it.
Whoa! Well, that sucked.
The map is pretty large with tons of areas to explore, although I feel like there are some areas that don't really get used. Not a complaint, just an observation. Aside from running around and being a menace, there are tons of minigames you can partake in. One of the more iconic minigames that you can play is Consumo, where you play as a sumo wrestler trying to gain weight. If you beat the high score, you'll be awarded with the Nerds Hangout, a new save location and place to sleep. There's also a carnival where you can play various carnival games and even go go-karting for the chance to win a go-kart. There are bike racing tournaments, errands to run, and you can even do odd jobs for bonus cash. The world is your oyster and the possibilities are endless.
Russell likes to hurt people for peace.
Now, this can't really be a Rockstar game without its controversies. There is no doubt in my mind that when Bully released, the public, mostly parents and teachers, would freak out at the contents of this game and also making note of Rockstar's other controversial games like Grand Theft Auto. An article published in 2006 states that activist Jack Thompson, without ever playing the game, called it a Columbine simulator, saying it suggests it can be acceptable to deal with bullying by becoming the ultimate bully. Jack Thompson even goes as far as to try to block the sales of the game, claiming it was a public nuisance, according to his own website. Another activist group by the name of Peaceaholics, which is a pretty insane name if you ask me, would bring the protests directly to Rockstar and make demands of their own. Bully is even banned in Brazil, a decision that was made by the Psychology Society, deeming it to be harmful to teenagers and adults. It's been almost 20 years since the game's original release, and we haven't been blessed with a Bully 2. So, will there be a Bully 2? There's a lot of speculation online and a lot of back and forth within the community about whether or not we would even see a Bully 2. One article suggests that Rockstar has confirmed the return of Bully. However, another article states that Bully 2 has been cancelled. So we can't really be certain with what the future of Bully holds. For now, we just have to remain optimistic. Looking back, I was deeply consumed by the world of Bully. I didn't understand exactly what it was that drew me into this game in a way that not many other games have done. I think this is one of those games that I've replayed non-stop and always found something new and exciting about it. Maybe it was the fact that I had the freedom to escape myself to become this anti-bully on a mission to save other students, or how a lot of the themes portrayed throughout the story felt relatable in a refreshing and quirky way. The archetypes represented by the different cliques created a dynamic social atmosphere that mirrored our real world, fascinated me. And as a young boy still learning about himself and coming of age, this felt informative. One of my favorite aspects of this game was getting to experience the different seasons throughout the story. I really enjoyed seeing the seasons change as it offered a refreshing feel to the world. The transition from fall to winter to spring felt true to the American school experience, and one that brought back a lot of nostalgia. There was always this feeling of starting new during the fall season since that was when a new school year began. And by the end of spring, I had felt like a completely different but better version of the person that I was when the school year started. I loved the game's accurate portrayal of that. The fashion and 90s to 2000s aesthetic is something that I appreciate so much, having replayed this game almost a decade and a half later. I feel like over the past few years, I've seen a lot of teens and young adults dressing up in the 90s era fashion, and it's so charming to see the essence of that time period presented in this game. It blows my mind how cell phones are practically non-existent in this world, and it just shows how different times were. Like, I didn't grow up with a cell phone, and I was able to make friends, socialize, and have fun. But having given myself brain rot the last decade, I couldn't imagine not having a cell phone. So being able to relive a moment in time brings me a lot of joy. It's also so fascinating to see how far technology has come, because the first time I played Bully was on the PS2, back when I thought the graphics were top tier, and I couldn't even imagine a world where a game of this caliber would exist portably. And many years later, we can literally play Bully on our phones. That absolutely blows my mind. If I told young me that one day I'd be able to play Bully while commuting to school, I think I was Gary level psycho. I think even after all these years, I still feel a sense of wonder when I'm running around Bullworth and living vicariously through the lens of Jimmy Hopkins. The soundtrack, character, and missions bring back a lot of nostalgic feelings. Feelings of a simpler time, when I didn't have any responsibilities, when the most important things in life was fitting in, causing trouble and hoping not to get caught, or passing a test. A time when I didn't even have a cell phone yet. And as quirky and as unserious this game can be at times, Bully does not hesitate to remind you of a different time. A time that no longer exists, but a time to remember and cherish in our hearts.